It's day 245 of Zohar Pshat. I'd like to correct something which I said yesterday. I wasn't thinking yesterday, simply. I said kaved, mar and chol, translated as liver, bile, and spleen. It's not bile, it's the gallbladder. So, I mean, everything else is more or less the same because the gallbladder produces the bile. But I wasn't thinking. Liver, gallbladder, spleen, not liver, bile, spleen. Okay, in any event. So having fixed that, let's go on to the next part of the Zohar. Chav Zayin Mem Beis. And we're focusing to Gillui Arayos. We are going to start 3, 6, 9, 11 lines down. Tesvav Aray Ninun, the Choshbon, Yud Kei. There are 15 Arayos to Araisa. The corresponding Yud Kei, but she's Achonin, and another 6 to Rabbanan, and Choshbon Chechovav. Kodem the Galus of Galusa, Ushchinta Imhon. The before the Amiso and the Galus and the Shechina together with them, and we're going to elaborate on that. So Mani Kuchabichel Yisrael, because Baruch Hu he enumerated Amiso, he counted them, he said to them, don't reveal the Arayos of your mother. Now Imma of course means Shechina, and Erba Sivicha the Los Gale means don't cause the Shechina to go into Galus, right? Because if you are involved in Gillui Arayos, meaning that you're involved in licentious behavior, you're not involved in Kedusha, and you're involved in Taiva, and try to restrain that Taiva, so then the Shechina is in Galus. The Shechina will be it's ironic a little bit. I didn't even think of this before. Galus is the state of Hester Bunny. Gillui Arayos is revealing the Galus. They're two sides of the same coin, though, because if you involve yourself in Gillui Arayos, in uncovering that which is not supposed to be uncovered, Mida Keneged Mida, that which is supposed to be uncovered, the Shechina, become covered. It goes into Galus. So the Gal, there's many words in Hebrew, is a Dover V'Hipucho. Revelation and concealment are both in the word Gal. I guess it depends. It comes to the word, just pre-associating here a little bit, it comes to the word wave, right? A wave, when you have a wave, so you have a wave which, the wave both conceals when it rolls in and reveals when it rolls out. So there's a lot which you can darshan here, I guess. But in any event, so the getting back to the top of your hand, it's a Gillui Arvas of the Shechina. It's a Gillui Arva of the Shechina, meaning that the again, it's kind of like an exposure in a negative way, which leads to concealment. The Shechina is once you expose things inappropriately, so then the Shechina has to go into Galus. As a result of your sins, your mother has been set away. Okay, so there are many things for which the Galus is described. One of them, I don't think Guzar means only Gillui Arayos, but in Gillui Arayos, Amiso goes to Galus. Mida Keneged Mida. Ushchina B'Galusa. The Shechina is in Galus now. V'doi erva de Shechinta, and that's the Shechina is the erva of Shechina, meaning that the Shechina, instead of having it being revealed in a good way, now there's the flip side of it, which is revealed, which is not the Shechina itself, but the antithesis of Shechina, which is bad. And what's the antithesis of Shechina? Vai erva ihi lilis. This erva is lilis. In other words, this is a power akin to Shechina. So Shechina is in the good, Lillith is in the bad, and this Lillith, I don't think it's not this. It's referring to the demon who was called Lillith, but rather it's for the ostensible wife of Adam Rishon who was called Lillith. But it's referring to a revelation which is negative, and this it says here, Imma de Erev Rav. There's a spiritual power which the Erev Rav is associated with, which is Lillith, as opposed to Shechina. And the Mefarshim say that in Bamidbar, the Baloscha, where the Asapsuvi Savu Tava, that's trying to Erev Rav. And the Taiva is not just the Taiva of food, which is in the Torah, but the Taiva also of Arayos. And Erev Rav connotes to us people who are Amida, being Shatuv Bezima, being involved in licentious behavior. And we know that licentious behavior has its own spirituality. You have that in Judaism, in those the Shabtai Tzvi and Jacob Frank, and you have also that in Eastern religions you have all sorts of linkages between Arayos and the power of Arayos and the spiritual power of Arayos and a spirituality. And obviously it's antithetical to Judaism because, yes, there's a very powerful power in that Yetzirah. But it's not where we're supposed to find our power from. Our power is supposed to come from curtailing that Yetzirah and using it in the proper channels, subject to the restrictions and subject to the parameters that Kosh Baruch Hu gives us. But there is this idea of spirituality, which is Lillith, Imma the Erev Rav. Ve'erev Rav, Inan Arayos Dila. And Erev Rav, they are the Arayos of Lillith. There's the flip side of it. And in Am Yisrael could also be heard. Arayos Yisrael, Zila'ela, and this is the Arayos of Am Yisrael on high. In other words, when Am Yisrael is influenced by the Erev Rav, which is going to elaborate on more, there is this idea of the power of Tumah, Ruach HaTumah, which is the idea of the antithesis of the Shekhinah of Kedusha. And now it gets so far as the Erev Rav, is going to explain also, the Erev Rav gets in the middle, not just that the Shekhinah is undermined and now we have Lillith instead of Imma, but now also our relationship with the Abba, with HaKadosh Baruch Hu directly, is impaired by the spirit of Arayos, which becomes so powerful and prevalent. I want to stress, other Averos also have this kind of influence, but evidently Arayos, the Chazal say, Lo of the Yisrael Avodah Zarah Hatil and Gillui Arayos B'Faresia. Right, by Bob or the Avodah Zarah, they mat Gillui Arayos. So I mean, so they don't believe in Avodah Zarah. We know Avodah Zarah has no power, but Arayos has power. Arayos is desirable, Arayos is attractive. So therefore, Avodah Zarah is a tool for Gillui Arayos. And Pshat writes many places, he says, Shvichas Damim is not a Jewish Yetzirah. Jews are not murderers. We know that Jews are the not violent people, but Jews also have taivas. And the stereotype of Jews having taivas hakesef is not untrue in the sense that that's how one of the ways in which we express our taiva. That's also a form of taiva, right? And that's why the kesef, kisufim, yearning. So this idea, all these taivas give people an alternative spirituality, and not the bogus spirituality of Avodah Zarah, a real alternative spirituality of Koach HaTumah, and that separates each other from Kosh Baruch Hu. And evidently, the Erev Rav retained for us that connection to that Arayos, which influences us as a midah, which is still present in Am Yisrael to this day. V'inon HaShechinah ben hey lehei. So let's grab vav benayu. The hey on high, the Shekhinah Elah, and the hey below, the Shekhinah Tatah, they're disconnected because the vav has been usurped by the Erev Rav. The connection, which should connect with the Dveikus. In the positive sense, it's usurped by Dveikus in the negative sense. Okay, it's getting late. We'll stop here.